Welcome, brave souls, to Fear File Chronicles, your one-way ticket to spine-chilling stories and terrifying tales. Tonight, we'll be diving into the darkest corners of the human mind with a story. The Journal My Grandfather Left Me. Part 6. Penned by the Twisted Mind of True God, 92. Together, we'll explore the unexplained and face our deepest fears. But before we begin, if you enjoy trembling in terror, be sure to hit that like button, share this video with your fellow fear fanatics, and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to click the bell notification so you never miss an eerie episode. Your support truly means the world to us, so feel free to leave a comment below to join the Fear File Chronicles community. Now, without further ado, let's unravel the mysteries of the unknown together as we delve into tonight's fear-inducing story, The Journal My Grandfather Left Me. Part 6. Dim the lights and prepare yourself for a chilling journey into the Fear File Chronicles. For the past few months, life has been quiet and peaceful for the most part. I've been working alongside Blackwood, doing much research, writing, and collecting artifacts. One of the major activities Blackwood undertakes to raise funds are exorcisms. Interestingly, he doesn't charge families for his services, but receives voluntary donations from almost everyone. This brings in significant resources for his work. Additionally, through these exorcisms, he gains a deeper understanding of demons and their abilities. Our most recent case was a rather unsettling one for both myself and Blackwood. One midday, Blackwood walked into my new office, situated right across the hall from his own. Distracted, I turned towards him and inquired if he needed something. Responding assertively, he commanded,
"Yes, of course, Mr. Astar. Now gather your tools and ready yourself."
Following his instruction, I walked over to a black walnut chest where I store my notebook, blade, and my grandfather's journal of contracts. Clearing my mind, I directed my attention to Blackwood's office and called out, "So, are you informing Sarah or leaving her in the dark again?" Before I could finish, Blackwood forcefully pushed me onto my desk. He admonished,
"Watch your tongue, boy. You know just as well as I do that her place is not with us, doing what we do. Sarah has a new life now. She's pursuing her dreams of teaching. She doesn't need to risk her life on these dangerous assignments."
He warned me.
"Bring it up again and I'll personally reunite you with Paul."
After the threat, he left me to go to the waiting car. Shaking off the surprise, I gathered myself and followed him. Entering the car, I slammed the door. Blackwood turned towards me.
"Luther, I hope I didn't hurt you. I had to make it look real to deceive the leeches."
He assured me.
"Once this is all over, I'll make amends with you and Sarah. I regret that we have to operate this way, but the leeches feed off anger, and we need them to be as full as possible for what we're up against."
As I turned away, I saw 4 clay golems loading a wooden case into the car's trunk. After finishing their task, they turned towards the driver to signal their completion. The drive was uneventful, a quiet hour outside the city to a small white church. Upon arrival, I exited the car first, climbing up the old, worn stairs to the front door. As I reached for the knocker, I pulled back in panic. The door, which I had assumed was painted red, was actually coated in blood. I stepped back for a clearer view and noticed claw marks scarring its surface. I headed back down to the car to inform Blackwood about what I had discovered. As I approached, I saw a small man talking with him at the rear of the car. Without any warning, the man suddenly turned, grabbed me, and threw me to the ground. As he climbed on top of me, I noticed his eyes turning black and his mouth morphing into a leech's maw. I could smell the stench of rancid blood from his mouth. Repulsed, I turned away and called out for Blackwood's assistance. He picked the man off me and commented,
"Luther, you have a long way to go if this small thing gives you trouble."
I stood up, dusted myself off, and walked away from the two of them. I leaned against the car and watched Blackwood and the leech approach the blood-soaked door. As the leech drew closer to the bloody entrance, its behavior started changing. Its movements became erratic, Its breathing grew heavier, and its eyes glowed fiercely. Its features morphed from human to animalistic. The scent of the blood on the door stimulated the leech's predatory instincts. Its claws and teeth elongated, becoming sharper and more dangerous. A guttural growl escaped the leech as it touched the bloody door. The moment its fingers made contact, it let out a spine-chilling scream, as if the blood had awakened something dormant within it. Its eyes took on a yellow hue as it roared and charged at the door. The force of its assault splintered the wood, sending shards flying in all directions. Upon entering the church, the leech was met with a sight that could only be described as a writhing mass of human flesh. A cruel smile revealed its deadly, sharp teeth. As the leech moved towards this horrific spectacle, it felt the potent energy of the congregated victims. It reveled in the fear, desperation, and pain of the people. Its smile widened as it came closer to the heap of human bodies. Twisted faces in agony, contorted bodies writhing in a grotesque dance of pain fed its sadistic pleasure. As it reached out to touch one of the squirming bodies, it was pushed back by a sudden surge of energy. Surprised, it scanned the surroundings to locate the source of the power. It then noticed her, a woman at the back of the church, her mouth sewn shut, eyes gouged out. Despite her horrific condition, the leech could feel the immense power radiating from her, and it knew she was the one who had repelled it. It smiled maliciously, enjoying the prospect of a challenging opponent. It began moving towards her, eager to test her strength. However, as it approached, it was washed over by a wave of fear. It looked at the woman again and noticed a symbol carved into her neck. It recognized her as a true believer in Pestilence and realized it had met its match. Frustrated, the leech fled from the church. As it sprinted through the remains of the shattered door, its head was severed cleanly by Blackwood's obsidian blade. As its head hit the ground, it spoke one last time to Blackwood.
"But we had a deal."
Immediately after, its body exploded into a mess of gore and was reduced to ashes. Peering into the darkness of the church, Blackwood asked if I was ready. With a nod, we cautiously stepped inside. The first thing that struck me was the writhing mass of flesh. I approached it and put my hand on the warm, pulsating mound. Pushing down on it, I recited a short incantation to release the cursed souls trapped within. The mass ruptured with a sickening pop, releasing the bodies of its victims onto the church's floor. Most seemed lifeless, only a few showed signs of life. Turning back to the entrance, I called out to Sarah, letting her know it was safe to assist now. Exiting the driver's seat, Sarah rushed in. She gasped at the sight of the bodies and the black liquid seeping from the disintegrated mass. Covering her mouth and nose, she stammered,
"Luther, what do you need me to do?"
Blackwood spoke up.
Help those showing signs of life. Move them to the entrance, but leave any infected behind. We'll deal with them after her. Now, Luther, stay close. The pestilence won't stay idle for long. We must act now.
I sprinted towards the woman, unsheathing my blade. The closer I got, the more intensely the red jewel on the hilt radiated heat. It became so hot that it started burning through my glove. Fighting the urge to drop the weapon, I lunged at the woman, aiming for her chest. However, I was stopped midair and thrown to the ground. The impact forced the air from my lungs, leaving me gasping for breath. Blackwood leaped over me, swinging his blade at her head, but she flung him out through the stained glass window adjacent to her. The chilling sound of his neck snapping echoed through the church. I picked myself up, intending to recite Lilith's incantation, but realized I had no voice. Trying to scream, I discovered my tongue was missing. The woman had ripped it from my mouth. She growled, speaking in my voice. "Bow down to me, the one true pestilence. I am the plague that will end all life. I will bring about the end of times, for I am—" Before she could finish her declaration, a blessed silver-tipped bolt from Sarah's crossbow pierced her throat. Her body collapsed onto the floor. I rushed over and drove my blade into her temple to ensure her death. As I stepped back, the demon no soa started to force its way out of the body. Despite his painful condition, Blackwood managed to scream.
The ring. Remove her ring. That's the only way to prevent it from finding a new host.
I snatched the ring off her finger, rendering the pestilence demon powerless. It was sucked back into the woman's body, which crumbled into a dry husk before disintegrating into dust. Holding the ring, I felt a sudden surge of energy and pleasure. Before I realized what I was doing, I began sliding the ring onto my middle finger. It enlarged to fit me perfectly. As I admired it in the light, my finger was ripped off my hand and pinned to the far wall by one of Sarah's bolts. Clutching my bleeding hand to my chest, I screamed in agony. She gave me an apologetic look as she retrieved my finger and the ring and placed them in a small wooden box marked with ancient symbols. As we returned to the car, Sarah laughed.
I should have been the one leading this project. I was the only one who wasn't injured and the only one who managed to defeat her. Without me, you two would be dead.
Blackwood thanked her, albeit with a hint of irritation.
I'm glad you could assist us. Next time, I'll ensure to give you the opportunity to lead. Now please, both Luther and I need medical attention and rest. Would you drive us home?
In the back seat, I watched the world go by. As I listened to Sarah's singing and Blackwood's snoring, I fell asleep. I awoke in the afternoon in my bed, my wounds cleaned and patched. That's all for now. I'll try to keep you updated when I can. Until next time. Well, my friends, we've reached the end of tonight's chilling tale, The Journal My Grandfather Left Me. Part 6, by the talented True God 92. I hope you've enjoyed our descent into darkness and that you'll carry a piece of the Fear File Chronicles with you as you drift into uneasy dreams. If our story left you shivering and shaking, don't forget to like this video, share it with others who crave a good scare, and subscribe to the Fear File Chronicles for more haunting horrors. Remember to hit the bell notification so you're always among the first to know when a new nightmare awaits. As always, we appreciate your support and would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Sharing your fears and frights with us truly means a lot, so don't be shy to engage with our sinister community. Until next time, remember to embrace the darkness, for it is within the shadows that our most terrifying stories are born. Good night and stay scared.